Good evening. I'm Michelle Armour. There are many women who are married to men who think they are geniuses. My dear friend Susan and I were very privileged because we were married to men who were geniuses, and they knew it. I think that in many cases I was uniquely suited to marry someone like John. I grew up over the mountain from Charlottesville, Virginia, so when other girls wanted to marry Elvis Presley, I wanted to marry Thomas Jefferson. John's book is These Are the Times That Try Men's Souls. When he was writing it, it should have been, These Are the Times That Try Women's Patience. I not only lived with John, I lived with Benjamin Franklin, I lived with Thomas Paine, I lived with Button Gwinnett, and I would say to him sometimes over dinner, I see dead people. This book was a labor of love. It was his 8th and alas final book. He was so proud of it. He worked on it for 10 years, but really nose to the grindstone the last year. He wanted to make Paine accessible. He wanted people to admire his ideas. He wanted people to love Paine's language, and I think he succeeded. There are many friends of ours who bought the book out of kindness and have turned around and said, this is a really great book. It makes Paine accessible, and this has a big future, and I hope it does. When the book arrived, we had come back from town because we have no postal delivery on top of our mountain, which is on the Eastern Continental Divide at 4,100 feet. We have no central heating. We have spring water. And there were those wonderful books on the doorstep. And the first thing he wanted to do was get a box cutter. John was a clumsy man, and he was not the kind of Yaley that you would let loose with a box cutter. So I said, honey, I'll do it. I opened up the box, and I took out the first book. And the only thing I can think of, it was like a woman birthing a child and handing the newborn baby to her husband. He looked at the book, and he turned it over, and he opened it up and said, oh, honey, this is better than I could have ever imagined. He had tears in his eyes, and I'm so glad that he lived to see this book. I thank you all for being here. You honor him by being here. You honor me. Thank you.